This is the Lichtman Live Post Show, the greatest post show that's ever existed on the face of planet Earth. Thank you all for joining me. Let me close the door 1 second. What? Prayers up for Texas, for sure. Hello, Philip H., Suzanne AP, President Kalidi is back, our future president. So nice for him to be here. Comfy chair. Actually, this chair is not comfortable at all. Let's play Geo tomorrow. I could be down. To play some GeoGuessr tomorrow. For sure. Sam's looking like a gamer that bullies people. Heck yeah. Susie K is here. Susie K. Everybody loves Susie K now. Did I read Norm Orstein's 2012 book, It's Even Worse Than It Books? No, I've never read that. Jim says, when I first looked at the contest form, it said the deadline was August 31st. Why/how did it change to July 8th? I don't really know. Savannah just was like, hey, the contest is over in 2 weeks. So I was like, okay. I don't know I don't know. Hello, Teddy Strongbear. Teddy Strongbear. No, that's just for Susie. Sam, will you join the America Party? Probably not, given the fact that I don't support Elon Musk, his attitudes toward the government, his attitudes towards policy, generally speaking. So no. Surprised your dad wore a t-shirt tonight. Yeah, I don't know why he did that. He just came up to me earlier and he was like, hey, can I just wear a t-shirt? And I was like, it's your show. You can wear whatever you want. So he wore a t-shirt. I would say 99% chance I will not be joining the America Party. Michael says, I'm thinking of joining, Sam, if it helps disrupt the two-party system. Go ahead, join. This is America. Do it. Join whatever party you want to join. I support your freedom to do so. Kathy says, I feel our democracy is gone. What are your thoughts? I feel so discouraged. I don't think our democracy is gone, but over the next 4 years, it will be suffocated. Now, can it rise 4 years later and catch its breath again? I believe so. That's what I'm holding my hope out for. Yes, this is a soccer jersey. This is an LAFC jersey. MLS club. Judy says, I fear a third party would hurt the push to remove Republicans from office. I mean, I guess anything's possible. It seems like the America Party would glean from more right-leaning people. I don't see many, maybe some far left-wing people, but I don't see many Dems moving to the America Party. I mean, Elon Musk is sort of enemy number one or number two for most Dems behind Trump. Is there any possible way to undo the damage Doge has done? I guess in theory, the next president can just rehire all the people that were fired, right? And restore all the government agencies. Especially based off of the Supreme Court ruling. They said Trump can fire whoever he wants. I guess the next president can hire whoever he wants, right? James says third parties do not win, but they can be influential if they can threaten to run. That's true. Danny says, as a Canadian, I'm freaking terrified of seeing what's happening south of the border. I'm really hoping things perk up from now on, though I'm not holding my breath. They're not going to perk up, at least until the midterms. I mean, that I am not hopeful for. Things are going to stay bad or get worse, most likely, until 2026. Philip H says, screw politics. What's new, Sam? Anything happening lately? Any movies, games you played and liked? I've been trying to watch. New York Times came out with a list of the 100 best films of the 21st century, and I'm trying to watch them all. And I think I'm at 73 right now. So I watched The Royal Tannenbaums, which I really liked. I watched Past Lives, which I really liked. I watched Portrait of a Lady on Fire, which I really didn't like, and I watched After Sun, which I really liked, but it was like devastatingly sad. I've been thinking about actually doing a video reordering that list, but maybe it's too late now. Maybe that has moved on. Is Life is Beautiful on that list? I don't think Life is Beautiful was released in the 21st century. I think it was late 20th century. Hello, Jeanette Zulaga. Hello, Jojo Star. Yeah, I mean, Life is Beautiful was released in 97. Yeah, it has to be year 2000 or to present. Essentially the last 25 years. But I thought overall the New York Times list was fair. I mean, any list is going to be, people are going to hate on it, right? But I thought this one was good enough. What did New York Times have as number one? It was Parasite, which I like, but I would not rank it as the best movie of the 21st century. I think it's slightly overrated. I watched it twice. The first time I was kind of like, it was good. And the second time I was like, okay, actually, I think it's sinking in a little bit more. I like it even more. But I still wouldn't put it at number one. You would love a lightsaber battle with me? What's my biggest fear under Trump? That he's going to turn the country into even more of an oligarchy. That affordability is going to get out of control. And the climate. And that he's going to just take us into the ether when it comes to climate change. Probably those two things. One, that he's going to make inequality and affordability worse. And that he's going to destroy our climate. Yes, No Country for Old Men is probably in my top 5 of this century. Who's stronger in the Force, Sam, you or me? Well, let me show you guys something real quick. I actually found these today. Where are they? I did a photo shoot a while back. I don't know if people know this, but I do a little boxing and Muay Thai. Wait. Sorry, give me a second. Oh. Okay. Let's see, which one should I show first? Oops. How you like that, baby? Yeah, that's me, dog. That's me doing a big time kick. So, you know, you want to battle me. And that's with jeans on and J's on and Jordans. You know what I mean? Let's go. Let's see. What else do I got from that? Here's one of me in my ready stance. Here's me jumping, getting ready for the kick. That's just a straight boom, straight to the dome, to the chin kick. I showed this one. Yeah. That's all I got. But I'm just saying, like, you know what I'm saying? Yes, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon is an amazing movie. GJ Thomas says, I'd Tai Chi your ass. Okay, if you say so. I'm just saying, like, watch out for that kick, bro. That's coming right at you. Look at that, straight to the chin. Like, you know what I mean? How do I exit out of this? I'm just saying. Ha. Although I haven't, I'm a little rusty with my kicks right now, probably, because I haven't done Muay Thai in a while. But who are some of my favorite movie directors? My favorite movie directors are Yasuhiro Ozu, Martin Scorsese, Jean-Pierre Melville, Akira Kurosawa, Quentin Tarantino, Steven Spielberg, Alfonso Cuarón. I'm just going off the top of my head. Noah Baumbach. Wes Anderson for me is hit or miss. Like, I really like the Royal Tenenbaums. I need to check out some of his newer stuff. I don't think I've watched one of his movies since Grand Budapest, which I found kind of boring. But Moonrise Kingdom is like one of my all-time favorite movies. I'm not a big Darren Aronofsky fan. I don't know. Villeneuve, I don't know. I didn't love Blade Runner, and I don't love Dune. But I really do like Arrival. But I wouldn't put him into my top. Bresson is another one that I really like from France. Luca Guadagnino, I'm not sure how to say that. I really liked. I wouldn't put him in my top, no. In fact, I think I've made a list before. Let me see. Let me read my list. But I didn't like. I liked Call Me by Your Name, but I didn't like Challengers. Okay. Here's what I wrote down on December 30th, 2024 at 5:24 p.m. on my notes section. Who are my favorite directors? Jean-Luc Godard, Noah Baumbach, Wong Kar-wai, Edgar Yang, Yasuhiro Ozu, Hong Sang-soo, Alfonso Cuarón, Pavel Pawlowski, Abbas Kiarostami, Milos Forman, Sam Mendes, Steven Spielberg, Akira Kurosawa, Andrea Arnold, Tarkovsky, Ang Lee, Ken Loach, David O. Russell, Alexander Payne, Jerzy Menzel, Quentin Tarantino, Martin Scorsese, Jean-Pierre Melville, and Coen Brothers. Now, how's that? I like Mystic River a lot. Do you think the Dems are going to retake The Right House in 28? I do. Yeah, Clint Eastwood has made some good films. I really like Million Dollar Baby. That's one of my favorite films. Surprised Christopher Nolan wasn't on the list. Yeah, maybe he should be. I really like Oppenheimer. I really like Inception. I really like Dark Knight. Maybe he should be. Ridley Scott does have some really good movies. The original the original Gladiator, Aliens. Although I recently watched The Martian, which is one of his newer films, and God, that was so boring. I did not like that movie. Am I going to watch Superman in theaters? Yeah, I think I am. It has caught my attention and has intrigued me enough that I will check it out. Kevin Smith. I mean, I only know Clerks, and I don't even know if I've even seen Clerks. But you know what? When I was living in LA, I saw Kevin Smith twice in 2 different locations, which is just kind of random. I also saw Christopher Nolan. I only saw 3 celebrities. One was Chris Nolan, one was Kevin Smith, and the third was William H. Macy. And I saw William H. Macy twice too, but in the same location, on like a hiking trail. But I saw Kevin Smith in 2 different locations. Like, what are the chances of that? Like, one was in 2 different like neighbor. Like, one was in Burbank, one was in Sherman Oaks. I mean, not that they're that far away from each other, but Once Upon a Time in the West, all-time great. That is true. Lori says, I met Gavin Newsom tonight. Wow. Oh, I do like Chasing Amy. I have seen for Kevin Smith. I have seen Chasing Amy. I do like that. I haven't seen Mallrats or Dogma, though. Are you saying your dad is not a celebrity? Okay, I also saw Alan Lichtman. How about that? How about them apples? Now, that's a movie quote. First one to say what movie that's... How about them apples? Wait, what did I say? Yeah, okay, Jeanette got it. It's Good Will Hunting. I lost track of the quote in my own head. But yes, Jeanette, it's Good Will Hunting. Because he says, it's Matt Damon when he's like first meets Minnie Driver's character, and some like Harvard douchebag is giving him a hard time. And he's like, he gets her number, and he goes to the Harvard douchebag up to the window. He's like, boom, I got a number. How about them apples? Right? I'm pretty sure that's how it goes. I got a number. How about them apples? Here it is.
Now we got to go customize and save hundreds with Liberty Mutual.
Go fuck yourself.
I know Casey Affleck is problematic, but man, he's a good actor.
I swallowed a bug.
Oh, they look so young. I forgot how young they are in this. You know another interesting fact that I heard? This was like a script that Affleck and Damon had been working on like forever, right? And apparently, like, originally it was like it was like a sci-fi. It had like fantasy or sci-fi elements to it. And when they sold it, and the producers or the studio, whoever it was, brought in Gus Van Sant, the guy who directed it, he like looked at the script and he was like, okay, there's like something really great here, but like he X'd out like all the sci-fi stuff from it, and like essentially created the Good Will Hunting that we know and love today. Pretty interesting, right? Did you see F1? No, I gotta go watch that. And I gotta watch it in theaters for sure. Damon was great and talented, Mr. Ripley. I've never seen it. I gotta watch that. You know what's interesting though? I saw one of his very first acting roles I didn't even realize he was in. It was Mystic Pizza. If you ever watch Mystic Pizza, there's a very young Matt Damon in it, which I had no idea he was in that movie or started acting that young. He's probably like, I don't know, 16 maybe. F1 was great. I love F1. All right, I gotta go check it out. The new HTTYD remake was actually fantastic. What is HTTYD? How to Train Your Dragon. I haven't watched any of the Train Your Dragons. Ben Affleck and Matt Damon were extras in Field of Dreams. Interesting. Sim, did you like The Sopranos or Boardwalk Empire? I'm a big Sopranos fan. I've never watched Boardwalk Empire. Maybe I should. Everett says, I taped Mystic Pizza on VHS. That's awesome. I really like Mystic Pizza. It took me I watched it maybe 3 months ago, but Casino Royale. I like that movie too. Kevin Smith was an executive producer on Good Will Hunting. Interesting. I didn't know that. That makes sense since, the whole Chasing Amy Affleck connection, right? Mystic River is also awesome. Yes, it is. Moving on from celebrities. We're not talking about celebrities. We're talking about film, cinema. Okay? Thank you very much, President Khalidi. Skyfall is the best Bond film this century. I agree with you, Teddy. I think I love Skyfall, and I think it's better than Casino Royale. Best director not to win an Oscar? I don't know who's not won an Oscar and who's won an Oscar off the top of my head. Miles says I'm a star? Thank you. How so? What's your take on Korean films that make it big here? I love film from anywhere. Philip H says, bro, HTT, How to Train Your Dragon is the best cartoon/CG movie ever made. Watch them. Better than Cars, better than Toy Story, based them all. Genuinely good movie. Okay, I'll check it out. I don't generally watch, like, in my adult life, I haven't watched much animated stuff. But I have to. I have to watch it. Thank you for the donation also, Philip. You're a man of dignity and honor. Spirited Away. Love that. I don't watch a ton of anime, to be honest. But I have seen Spirited Away and I really like it. I read that Clint Eastwood is going to make another movie. He's 94. I watched his last movie, Juror Number whatever. Dude, it was so bad. And it was weird because it was getting good reviews. But I don't know if anybody else saw it. Probably not because it was a pretty big flop. But holy moly, I did not like it. Do I like Stanley Kubrick movies? I do. I like Barry Lyndon. Juror Number 6 is awful. Thank you, Tashdid. I appreciate that. Or Juror Number 2. Yeah, that was it. Juror Number 2. I do like Barry Lyndon. I do like Stanley Kubrick movies. I like Barry Lyndon. I like The Shining. I like 2001: A Space Odyssey. I didn't realize, before watching 2001: A Space Odyssey, I didn't realize how many people just stole from that movie. Like, that was such a genre-defining movie. Like, essentially the next 40 years of sci-fi space travel movies, like, gleaned something from that movie. Because I'd seen a lot of movies, sci-fi movies in my time. And then I watched 2001 probably, like, in my mid-20s after I'd watched it. And I was like, oh, my God. So many people were pulling from this. Thank you, Philip. I won 500 from a scratch off today and buy them like twice a year. I can do this 95 more times. I thought about it on your dad's streams for the memes. Congrats on winning the scratch off. That's amazing. I've never seen A Quiet Place. Last year I did do the Quiet Place haunted house in Universal Studios Hollywood though, which was pretty fun. What's my favorite bad movie? That's a good question. My favorite bad movie. Like, what do you mean by bad? Like that, like it's not critically. Like a lot of the movies I grew up with are not like critically acclaimed, like Mighty Ducks or Sandlot. But I don't think the general public thinks those are bad movies, so it's hard to say. What's your dad doing during the post show? I think he's just chilling, straight chilling. Ivana says, I watched Jaws in the fourth. What did you do? I never seen it because of naked lady getting eaten by Bruce the shark. Jaws is amazing. I went to a friend's barbecue on the fourth. Do I like zombie movies? Sure. I like any movies that are good. I don't really have a genre restriction, you know. What movie do you love that everyone hates? That's a good question. I don't know. I don't know if I have one. My dad's playing video games. Yeah, I don't think so. Ever since I saw Jaws the first day it was out. That's pretty incredible. What movie do you hate that everyone likes? The Piano. You know what I'm talking about? It was like a Jane Champion film. I think it won Best Picture. And it's like so highly critically acclaimed. Here it is. Oh, you guys can't see that. But oh my god, I cannot stand that movie. Oh, also Phantom Thread. Everybody loves Phantom Thread. I do not like that movie at all. This movie, The Piano. 1993. Yeah, Jane Campion. Did it win Best Picture? It won 3 Oscars. It didn't win Best Picture, but it was nominated. Holly Hunt won Best Actress. Anna Paquin won Best Supporting. And wasn't like Anna Paquin, she was like super young in this movie, right? Anybody seen this movie? Allie agrees with me. What movie do I... Oh, I'm answering this now. I love The Pianist. I do love The Pianist. I do not like The Piano. I haven't seen the Trump biopic yet, no. What's my favorite horror movie? The Witch. Robert Eggers. American politics is a lot like Star Wars. What are some parallels you can make between the two? I'll be honest, I'm not a big Star Wars guy. I haven't watched it enough to make an analysis of the parallels between American politics. Like, I think the first one, the original, is like pretty fun, but I don't know, they don't really do much for me. I think they're literally the most overrated movies ever made. I have not seen The Abyss. Yeah, I like Robert Eggers. Although nothing that he's done since The Witch has like blown me away. Like, I liked Nosferatu, but it kind of felt just like he was so focused on making it as like pretty as possible and just like copy pasted the Dracula story. He didn't really do much with the story. And The Lighthouse I liked, but man, that was out there. Like, out there. And I haven't seen The Northman. So hopefully his next one he brings the fire, because I think his first feature, The Witch, was his best. I don't think he's reached that height since then. Michael says, I love Nosferatu. I liked it. I didn't love it. What's my favorite Tarantino film? Inglourious Bastards. Are superhero movies cinema? They can be, but the way the majority of superhero movies have been made, the majority of the way Hollywood has made their superhero movies, no, they are not cinema. That's my opinion. Like, I think Dark Knight is cinema. That's a superhero movie. But I don't think any of the Avengers are cinema. I don't think any of the spin-offs are cinema. So I lean towards agreeing with my good friend Martin Scorsese. And by good friend, I mean he has no idea he has no idea who I am. Do you like My Dinner with Andre? You know, that's funny. I've never seen it, but my dad is always going on about that movie. The first Iron Man was cinematic? Yeah, maybe so. What's the difference between movies and cinema? Nothing. But, well, that's a hard... A movie can also be cinema. A cinema can also be movies, but a movie isn't necessarily cinema. I guess does that make sense? Like, you can have a movie that's not necessarily cinematic. Ivana says, I worked at Sundance when the Blair Witch Project premiered, and it was, I'm not sure what you're saying, has hysteria. I like the Blair Witch Project a lot, actually. That was filmed in Maryland, I think, my home state. Cinema is the quality of the movie? No, not necessarily. Cinema is a type of art, just like painting is a type of art, or sculpture is a type of art, or writing poetry is a type of art. Something that exists in the realm of cinema reflects the artistic values of cinema, whether it may be great storytelling, cinematography, mise en scène, acting, etc., etc. And I think a lot of superhero movies are closer to, I think he's right, they're closer to like marketing material and theme rides than they are to cinema, because the stories are phoned in, the acting is phoned in, everything is all these things that a filmmaker uses to express himself artistically are dumbed down for the purpose of selling butts and seats. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? To make a piece of cinema, it has to be a reflection of some sort of artistic endeavor. And I would say a lot of superhero movies are closer to an amusement park ride. They're movies, but they're not cinema. There is very little artistic expression in a superhero movie. And their very point, just like a amusement park, is just to get people in seats and send them on a ride, on a journey. We Make Games says, hard disagree, man. You don't get what art is. Okay, that's fair. I respect your opinion. So Lara says, I love video games because it's more interactive. I always wonder how a movie could have been done differently. Yeah, but movies and video games are totally different forms of art. I agree. I love video games too, but they're totally different. Again, it's like being like, if you're looking at someone who's a sculptor versus a painter, right? Those are two different forms of artistic expression. Video games and films are two different forms of artistic expression. There's a reason that Tarantino and Scorsese will never direct a superhero movie. True. But if they did, I bet they would make it more cinematic. But the issue is that these superhero genres are controlled by the studios and they're controlled by the business side of Hollywood. So even though, like, I'm sure if you're a director or an actor and you get signed on for a superhero movie, you're not going in being like, hey, I'm not going to try to express myself artistically. But the issue is you're sort of just a cog in the wheel of a business machine controlled by Hollywood studios, basically. Video games can be more impactful and feel more real, in my opinion, especially with VR. I think that's just like a person-to-person things. And it's also a video, like some video games I don't find impactful at all, and others I find very impactful. And same with movies. There's some films that I find extremely impactful, and some I don't find impactful at all. And yeah. Do you consider Tim Burton's original Batman cinematic? I don't think I've ever seen it, to be honest with you. I hope you're not mad. I hope you're not mad. Movies based on video games fail for some reason. Is that true? What did you do when you lived in LA? What did you do in LA when you lived there? I worked for the Federal Aviation Administration, and I ran a YouTube channel, and I did film and media stuff on the side. Acting, some assistant directing, stuff like that. What's my favorite cartoon of all time? It's blasphemy that you haven't seen 1989 Batman. All right, I'll have to check it out. It's not that I don't want to. It's just never come across my desk. You know what I mean? Like, there's just some movies that just never come across your desk. Like, I don't even think I don't know where I would have seen that, you know? What was I answering? Oh, what's my favorite cartoon of all time? Probably SpongeBob. That's probably the cartoon I've watched most of. SpongeBob. What's it like having Trump as president? Does it make you anxious daily? No, not really. I try not to think of him as much as I can, you know? But now we're living in a real world movie with Elon Musk as a supervillain. You're not wrong. He's definitely a supervillain in some aspects of his life, for sure. What do I like about SpongeBob? It's funny, it has compelling characters, has well-structured storylines and plot. It's goofy, it's silly. Why are people so in love with mobs movies? Because it's very easy to tell a dramatic, compelling story with high stakes in a mobster movie. You know? And it's rooted in this idea of like this old American way of crime, which was a little bit more like organized and looked out for the community. And, you know, whether these things are true or not, I'm not making a judgment on that. I'm just saying a lot of people have nostalgia for that, you know. The original Jurassic Park is goated for sure. I've heard the new one isn't bad. Is it out yet? I'm not sure. You know what's funny? I never got into South Park. It just, I don't know. It never hit for me. Jurassic World, I don't remember it being very good. Yeah, if you saw it when you're 13, that might explain it. But I don't know. Maybe people saw it as full adults and liked it. The new ones, I don't even know if they all kind of blur in my mind together. I don't know even which ones I've seen. South Park Hate is Blasphemy. I'm not hating on it. I'm just saying like it just never hit for me. What's your take on how different genres of film influence others? For example, samurai to westerns and westerns to science fiction. Films are tied together. Well, you know that, apparently Star Wars is based off of Seven Samurai, which is an Akira Kurosawa film, like the whole plot. So yeah, they're all tied together. I mean, I think all movies share some commonality. Like even a horror movie might share some commonalities with a comedy, you know? Seven Samurai, the anime was better than the original movie. I've never seen the anime, so I can't speak on that. Come hang out in London for the next 4 years or so. Honestly, that sounds kind of great. I've been to England twice, and both times I loved it. But, a big but, I was there both times in the summer. I feel like the gray, rainy winter and fall and spring in the UK, I might not dig. But honestly, speaking of film, like the UK and London is booming right now for film and television. Like so many, even American stuff is being filmed in the UK right now. Just because they don't have unions, they have really good tax credits, et cetera, et cetera. It's just far. That's my issue. You got to cross an ocean to get there. I don't know. Are unions bad for the movie industry here in the U.S.? I mean, no. But the issue is that greedy studio executives and studios in general are like, we don't want to pay these. I think the shift to the UK really happened after the strike. They realized that, there's all this free labor. Not free. There's all this more affordable labor in the UK that isn't unionized that we can use. So, I mean, in theory, and especially for the last, 50, 60, 70, 80 years of filmmaking, I mean, I don't know when the unions came to be, but whenever they came to be, they've provided, great middle-class lives for a lot of people working in the industry. But now, I mean, it's interesting because it's sort of the same with manufacturing, right? It's like at a certain point, the greedy corporations were like, well, we're not going to manufacture in America anymore because the labor in China and Vietnam, etc., is much cheaper. And that's kind of what the big studios are doing now. They're kind of like, well, okay, you guys can unionize all you want and you can demand all this stuff. We're just going to go film in the UK and hire people who aren't unionized and pay a lot less money and pay a lot less in taxes. Like there's a clip of, who is it? The Parks and Recs guy. It was Adam Scott and, did I play this already? I might have played this already. Adam Scott and Rob Lowe. And they were like, nothing films in Los Angeles anymore. And that's because, now this has changed recently because Los Angeles or the state of California has just passed a new state tax credit, which will help, but people are saying it's a little too late because it's like a 35% tax credit, but there's a cap of like $750 million. And I think like a state like Georgia, which has taken a lot of production, has an uncapped limit. So they can spend as much as they want in tax breaks for productions there. And apparently the UK, the tax incentives are really, really good. So, and LA has sort of eaten itself. It's become too expensive, and like getting permits to shoot, there's so much red tape, and it's kind of sad. I mean, it's apparent. I mean, and when I was there, I probably could count on one hand how many things I saw shooting in Los Angeles. Yeah, Vancouver. There's a lot of shooting in Vancouver and in Toronto. in Canada. Although that has decreased recently a little bit. I'm not sure why, but I've heard that's decreased. And like I said, a lot of it has been taken up by the UK. Do you still plan to go back to LA? That's the $1 million question. I would say right now I'm leaning towards going back, but I'm not sure. Say I'm like 60-40 right now. What do you think about Trump's taxes on movies filmed outside the United States? How will that be enforced? No, I don't think that's a good idea. I think if anything that would help, especially from foreign countries taking a lot of the film industry, is just better tax, like a federal tax incentive. So if you shoot in California, you get their state and local tax incentives, plus you get an additional federal incentive. I think that would be the best plan of action. How's that documentary you're working on? It's coming good. Stay tuned. It'll be out soon, I think. I mean, it's up to the big wigs, but Trump said he wanted to be a director. You know what's interesting is that his favorite movie is, why do I always blank on names? What's the Orson Welles film that it's like always ranked as the best film of all time? Someone help me out. Why can't I think of this? No, not Facing the Crowd. Citizen Kane, yes. So he thinks his favorite movie. He always says his favorite movie is Citizen Kane, but he gets there's like a video of him talking about Citizen Kane and how it's his favorite movie, and he's like, his interpretation of it is like the exact opposite of what the movie is like trying to say, right? Like the movie's a lot about greed, and obviously it follows this like rich media mogul billionaire, right? And like he is talking about how much he loves this movie and what he gleans from it, and what he gleans from it is something like never trust women or something. It's like, bro, that is not what that movie was trying to say. It's hilarious. So Trump of him. UK and many European citizens have healthcare. I would think they provide for. What are they need unions? Well, unions are more than just healthcare. It's not just about healthcare. It's about bargaining power. It's about wages. Wow, I lost a lot of people on that movie talk. I think when I started talking about movies, we're at like 130 people watching. Now we're at 98. I guess people don't want to hear me talk about movies. Hello, sir.
Hello.
Hi, Bubby. Where you at? My dog is licking my arm. So Michael says, I support some of Trump's tariffs. Okay, so which ones specifically do you support? And not that you support the idea of tariffs broadly, because, I mean, a lot of people do. Even Biden and, moderate Democrats were in favor of certain tariffs, right? But you said you're in favor of some of his tariffs. Which one? My puppy's here. Does Trump think that the movie 1984 is about freedom and love? Probably. I support increasing tariffs of products coming into our country. They charge us a high amount, and we should do the same. That's a very general statement, Michael. Okay, Missy, yes, you don't know anything about Michael. That's true. But Michael, you don't need to call people boomers. There's no need for that. What happened to all those tariffs put on hold for 90 days? You have to ask Trump. I don't know. You have to ask him. 90 deals in 90 days, right? That's done, right? That's done. Psych. Tashjeed says, I never understood why we had steel tariffs. Why wouldn't the government buy steel at cheap rates and flood our markets with cheap goods and subsidize our capacity in case we need to increase production? 90 letters in 90 days. Yeah, that's all they seem to accomplish in that. President Kalidi says, I have a feeling that the reason why everything has gotten more boring is because of the rise of corporations has inhibited future innovation for profit and efficiency. I think it's an interesting take. Sam, run. Why? Yeah. Remember those kicks? I don't need to run. I can just go straight to my Muay Thai. Did you guys ever discuss alligator Alcatraz? Yes, we did. Sam, will you ever do open lines again? Yeah, I'm down. I'm just too lazy to figure it out. You know what I mean? Go to bed, GJ. 4 a.m. in the UK. Shout out to Wimbledon if anybody's been following Wimbledon. Wimbledon's always fun to watch. I always watch Wimbledon. I always watch the U.S. Open. And then I don't watch tennis for another year. And then as soon as Wimbledon comes around, I'm like, oh, right, I'm a tennis fan. And then I watch the U.S. Open. I'm like, I'm a big tennis fan. And then I don't watch for a year. Well, I did go to... it's like it's not like a major, but it's like one step down from that. Like in DC, the DC Open or something. Then it's some sponsor name. It's like the Mubdabala Open or something. But I did go to that, so that counts, right? I don't know what that is. I like soccer too. I like tennis too. I just like sports. Sports are fun and they unite people, especially in times like this. It's like sports are so uniting and feel good, you know? Helps block out the Trump darkness. Sam, will you collect that $10 for a pic of your feet? Oh, because I showed my feet on the stream. Yeah, someone sent me $10 for those right now. I'm not that good at tennis. I'm like mediocre at best. Do you think the 26 Olympics will still happen in LA? I think so. Why wouldn't they? Pickleball, I like. I'm much better at pickleball. When did you show your feet? My dad said something about voting with your feet in Lichtman Live, and I pulled up my foot. Sam, debate Zach Starr. Okay. Bring him to me. Who's the best tennis player? I like Federer. I'm a Federer guy. He's Swiss. My mom's family's Swiss, so I got to root for him, you know. I've never been a big Nadal guy. I don't like Djokovic. I started liking Nadal more towards the end of his career, but I don't like Djokovic. Pickleball is a huge thing in Utah. I have no idea why. I think pickleball is a big thing everywhere in the United States. The reason why it's a big thing is because it's like tennis on easy mode. So you can get out there and like hit the ball like you're Nadal, and it's fun and easy. Tennis is a confusing sport. The point system makes my brain hurt. Whoever originally came up with that point system, like, was just trying to make things confusing. But, like, it's actually not that complicated if you just, like, sit down for 5 minutes and, like, really try to understand it. Like, women's games are best of 3, men's games are best of 5. And then within each set, there are games. And the first one to 6 games without it being, you have to win by 2, basically. It can't be 6-5. And then if you get to 7, you win. Or there can be a tie break. And then you just count. So, like, inside the games, to win a game, it's 15, 30, 40, win, basically. Why can't it be 6-5? I don't know. That's just the rules they made. President Clay says, I still can't understand why people believe a woman cannot be POTUS. I agree with you. I think a woman can be POTUS. Zelda upgrade is amazing. Oh, for the new Switch. Do you think Chuck Schumer will be the Democratic leader in the Senate in the next session of Congress? No, I don't think so. I sure hope not. How long have I been on tonight? 2 hours. But I like hanging out with my homies, you know. James says, my thoughts. Last 4 years was Kamala could not win over enough white voters in swing states. Yeah, I don't know. That was maybe part of the problem. Sam, if many undocumented immigrants make up the workforce and lots of labor-intensive jobs, what the heck is the objective here? I have Hispanic friends that are born here, but they're more nervous. The objective is to make America a whiter nation. That's my opinion. The post show has been 2 hours. No, it hasn't. I can literally see the timer. It's 59. It's been 59 minutes and 47 seconds. It's gonna be 100 degrees on the weekend in the UK. Well, it's like hot as hell here in the US. So. I mean, I agree with you, Everett. Secular Monk says, it's really nice here in the Pacific Northwest. Damn. Yeah, the Pacific Northwest does sound nice right now. Some nice, cool Pacific Northwest breezes in the summer. Did you see the IRS is now allowing you to endorse candidates from the pulpit and keep their tax exemption? Jesus. There's a white nationalist lawyer that wrote his proposed amendment, which included getting rid of the 14th and 15th Amendment. It's scary to see all this. Yeah, the Trump administration wants to get rid of the 14th Amendment. I mean, that's clear as day. Thank you, GJ Tom. It's hard to say, GJ. Do you watch movies on your computer or only home theater? I do both. Just depends where I am, where I'm sitting, you know. I do both. All right, folks. With that, I'm signing off for the night. I appreciate every single one of you watching. How many people are watching still? 111. How did it go up? It went up. Do you collect physical media? I do collect physical media. Have a good night, everybody. Thank you, Michael Nightwolf, Candy Sig Addict, Everett, Tim Mikowski, Susie K. Thank you all. Thank you, Fry, Jemmy, Missy. Goodbye. Good night, Secular Monk. Good night, President Khalidi. Thank you, JoJo Star, Ali B, Raul, JJ. Thank you.